She's been called one of the most beautiful women in the world. Lisa Ray first came to public attention after talent scouts spotted her in a crowd while vacationing in India. And there launched a modeling career. And then from there, an on-screen career blossomed. Her credits include films like Kasoor, Bollywood, Hollywood, and Deepa Mehta's Oscar-nominated Water. But in 2009, she was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer called multiple myeloma. And with treatment, she's fought back, coming out cancer-free. And she joins us here in studio today. Lisa, thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Now, cancer-free. Explain that. How did that happen?
You know, I don't know if cancer-free is the right term, actually. I'm in remission right now, so I'm feeling great, feeling better than, you know, I followed my entire treatment protocol, which is pretty involved. And even though I'm sitting here with you and I'm optimistic and I'm happy, it's not an entirely happy ending. You know, what I'm actually here to say and to share with everyone is that there's still a lot of work to be done as far as myeloma goes. The first thing, number one, it's myeloma, not melanoma. Melanoma is a skin cancer, so I hear people, you know,
people get that confused.
Yeah, first there's that big question mark. What are you talking about? So myeloma is a blood cancer of the bone marrow. It's incurable. So, you know, that brings me to, you know, the next question, which is that, you know, how do we find a cure? And that's, again, what I'm here to talk about. You know, I'm partnering with Myeloma Canada, which is a great resource for anyone that's been struck by this disease or is supporting someone, or if you just want to know more. Because basically it's optimistic times right now for anyone who's been diagnosed with myeloma. Now, I'm a little bit unusual. I'm atypical because I was diagnosed at the age of 37. Most patients are diagnosed well into their 60s. Okay. You know.
And it is 1% of all cancers is myeloma.
Well, 7 people a day. I prefer this statistic. 7 people a day are diagnosed with myeloma. So you know, there is a trend. You know, and it's hard to say whether, you know, maybe diagnosis is a little bit more accurate now and what's going on. But there are more and more people that are being diagnosed also at my age. So, you know, the point is that we are getting close to being able to convert this from being a fatal disease, you know, and I have to be really open and transparent about that. You know, it's not a happy ending. So we're getting close from converting it from being a fatal disease to something that's either chronic or even curable, and that's due to all the breakthroughs in these incredible treatments and protocols and drugs that are happening. Like, if I was diagnosed 10 years ago, my prognosis would have been 1 to 2 years. It's a victory that I'm even sitting here, you know, talking to you and sharing my story. But as I said, you know, I'm taking this opportunity to pay it forward, all the support that I got and all the incredible treatment that I got, so that in order that the next patients are, you know, find access to the right treatment at the right time.
So talk about the treatment. I mean, I know you received a stem cell transplant. Correct?
That was one part of my protocol.
Okay.
It isn't always standard protocol. And you know, honestly, I'm not a medical expert by any stretch of the imagination.
But you learned a lot, obviously, going through the process.
I did and I didn't, to be honest. You know, to an extent also what happened, I mean, Myeloma Canada was a great resource because it's overwhelming. It's a complicated disease. There's many, many different approaches, you know. So basically, I did undergo a protocol which pushed me into remission. There's a marker in my blood called the M protein. And once that was almost negligible, then I qualified for a stem cell transplant. So I came out of that at the beginning of 2010. That was my rebirth, you know, and even after that, it took a while to really heal and regain my energy and, you know, kind of become, you know, come back into fighting fit form. You know, being diagnosed with a disease like this was overwhelming, and again, coming from this profession, which is basically modeled on a kind of a perception of perfection. You know, if you are a public figure, if you walk the red carpet, people almost expect that adversity doesn't quite touch you.
Right, exactly. And I was going to ask you if that was easy taking this public.
So that was one of the reasons. You know, that was one of the reasons I was motivated to go public. Number one, because I felt that, you know, it's really important to wrench the spotlight onto myeloma, you know, and increase awareness. Very frankly, it's in my own interest, obviously.
How has this all affected you? I mean, you're at this point now. You're sitting in front of me, vibrant still as ever. How has this affected you, and where do you go from here?
That's a good question. I have to think about that for a moment. Well, you know, obviously, there's been a call for action in my life. You know, I think that, again, because, you know, you come out of an experience like this. I come out of fighting, you know, a really serious disease. And the first thing that I thought was like, how do I give back? You know, again, there's a sense of gratitude that I'm even here today. You know, there's a sense of gratitude towards my medical team, towards the people, the strangers and the friends and family that supported me. So you want to pay it forward, and what is my way of giving it back? Now, I don't really have great fundraising skills. I'm not a medical expert by any stretch of the imagination. You know, however, what I do have is a platform. I have a platform from which I can speak to the media, and a platform from which I can connect with people and talk to people about my journey.
You're also doing something with Omni.
I am.
You're doing a show called Bollywood's Top 10.
That's
Premieres
right.
this Sunday. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, it's a really, really fun kind of top 10 countdown of a lot of different great sort of Bollywood moments and films, and it was a great format. It was a lot of fun. It was shot here in Calgary in YYC. So I really like this town. I'm kind of really digging Cowtown.
Well, we're glad to hear it. And you know what? I'm looking forward to watching it.
All right.
We'll have to leave it there. Lisa, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Both these movies, Wild Film